Black Cat Lounge is sponsored by Paranormal Oddities, the little store with the big heart, Niagara at the Western Block, one of the top rated haunted destinations in Western New York, Dragonfly Art and Soul, metaphysical goods and classes, Mystery Control, your go-to feed for science, magic, true crime, paranormal, and much, much more. Hey everybody, Tim Shaw here. It's so great to see you guys, and welcome back to the Black Cat Lounge. We had a little bit of a hiatus. I was going to try to get back a little bit sooner, but we've had some other things going on. And I just want to let you know, I want to thank everybody out there for wishing my wife a speedy recovery. She had a knee replacement, and she's been doing great. All your healing, all your prayers, all your good wishes have really helped a lot, and she's worked her ass off too. So she's no longer on a walker. She's no longer in a cane. We're talking about we're in the week 5, and she's walking really well, really well. So it's like, to me, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Anyway, a lot of you guys were asking about the Patreon thing. I decided, you know what? I don't want to go and charge you guys. I'm having too much fun enjoying what I do. So I want to bring it to you for the same price, free, because I want it to be something that's important to both of us. And I wanted to, and I just love being able to do that for everybody. I really do. And so I decided that I think it's more important to give back than it is to actually bring in. So I'm keeping it just the way it is. We're going to just go, we'll just fly by the seat of our pants, and we'll figure it out from there. As for regularity on a regular schedule, I'm looking at twice a month. Because of the fact that I've got so many irons in the fire, guys, so many irons in the fire. And it's just wonderful to be able to say that I have that much. I'm busy. I'm old. I'm busy. I'm retired. I can do these things. You know why? Because I worked my whole life so I could be a putz and hang out and wander the back roads of the paranormal, metaphysical, and craziness world. So I have got to tell you something. Our guest tonight, I am just so thrilled. You know what? Hold on. Just had to jump back and kiss myself, because I have got a guy on here tonight that I am so thrilled that came just to go. And I mean, how can I even describe him? I met him a number of years ago. He interviewed me at someplace in Old Mill in Michigan. And I've been a fan of his ever since. And I think he's just a great guy. And you know what? How can you not like this guy? Well, I can understand it, but that's just between you and me. Otherwise, listen, if you guys want a list of things that I don't like about him, blackcatlounge.com. Just write me and we'll talk about it. No. There's nothing that I can say that really makes me not like this guy. And I know you guys are going to like him too. So anyway, without further ado, listen, he's an author. He's a good friend of mine. He's a media personality. I have, you know what? I got a whole page. I'm just going to read the whole page right off. You know what? He's a renowned podcaster who can be heard with his co-host Dale Quigley on the Paranormal Voice. He was also a cast member on the CTV hit reality series Traitors. We'll talk about that. Yes, for all you Canadians up north of me, just over the river, he's one of the guys that you love to hate. You just grew to love to hate this guy because he's such a great person and he did such a great job on there. You know what I find fascinating about him is our guest has great resilience, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how seriously he kind of, hit a low point and how he dragged himself back up. And it is something that is so important. It's something that I want people to understand at this time that, you know, there's always hope. There's always something that will enlighten you and bring you back to balance. It's very, very hard. We're going to talk to him a little bit about that. And he's so positive. He's just a positive guy. And you know what? Sometimes he posts this stuff and I go, he can't be that positive. But yes, he is. He is that positive. Also, you know what makes him unique is he's an old canvas-back brawler. That's what he is. He's a canvas-back brawler in the squared circle, baby. Now, you know, I got to tell you, it's amazing. It's just amazing because he retired. He retired. Done. Walked away from the ring. That's it. You know, injuries, beat up. You know, I've had enough. And now he is, I got to get this right. After so many years away from the ring, we've actually seen him in the ring. But not only is he a brawler, he has come back as the general manager of the NCG Wrestling Empire. Wait, what? Hold on. We're not doing our guest adequately. We're not respecting him enough. Is that what you're saying? This is not a good enough introduction for him? Hold on. I got it. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, for those of you who are trying to go and get into the chat room, we're not getting anything. That's just the way Facebook is. Anyway, hold on. We got to do him justice. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a one fall, 60-minute time limit. Now entering the ring, wearing the shamrock green shorts, led in by his bodyguard, Prairie, the man, the myth, the legend, Irish Bobby Clancy, better known to his friends as the one and only Iron Mike. John, welcome, my buddy. How are you, my friend? It's so good to see you. How was that for an introduction?
Well, yeah, no, I'd expect nothing less. I never know what's going to come out of your mouth, and that's why I love you so much. I never know what you're going to do. That was amazing.
Well, you know, listen. I had to go and pay you homage. You know, you're
awesome.
You're a man. You're amazing. You're crazy. You're just a crazy guy. You're just a crazy man. And I'll tell you what, I have so much respect for you. And anyway, for everybody that's watching and can't get in the chat, so we'll have that fixed by next week. But anyway, Mike, welcome to the show. Welcome. I'm so thrilled to have you here. You know, I know your schedule has been crazy. I know that you've been so wrapped up with so much stuff. And, you know, for you to take the time to come on the show means so much to me. And I absolutely love it. But, guy, I got to tell you what. I got to show everybody something. Oh, God. Way back in the day.
I'm so scared.
No, don't be scared. This is when I knew that I liked this man. This is when I knew that this guy was one of us. We were in Toledo last year. And our buddy Frank Kupka, who's a trainer and a lunker.
Oh, yeah.
He's a lunker. There's no doubt about it.
God bless
him. He goes and he says, before we go to dinner, before we do anything, we're going to work out. Well, this one here is like, yeah, man, we're going to work out. We're going to do it. We're going to do this. Yeah, let's do this. So we all load into the lunker mobile, go down to this gym, and we're all working out. Well, at the very end, I said, this is so monumental. We have to go and save this for posterity.
Yes.
And here we are. Oh man, look at that gut. Man, I've lost a little bit more weight since that time.
Absolutely, you have.
But look at that,
So
man.
Dale.
We're at Heckle and Jekyll's, or Heckle and Hyde's gym in Toledo, Ohio.
That was a great time.
Yeah,
a great time. Great memories made there.
That was great. It was a fun event.
I love that we got a photo of that.
I had to put that in there because of the fact that,
Thank you.
You know what, too often memories are fleeting, and I think it's so important that we go and we can record as much as we possibly can. And I love the fact that we actually were, we all worked out together, and I love that. I love the fact that, when we're together, we're all on the same page. When we break and we go our separate ways, it's fine, because we all know we're going to end up back in a place like that.
Yes.
So anyway, listen. I'm going to start right off. Let's just start right off. I'm going to throw a little hard, not a hardball question at you, but just a common question. Wrestling, man. I mean, you started like back in the day. You were a young pup. You were just, you were on fire. You were a well-built man. You're just, you're just a powerhouse. Whatever got you involved in? Were you like a fitness guy? Were you were you a guy that, like, were a power lifter that kind of fell, or, you were an athlete that kind of just got, like so many people do? What got you back into what got you into wrestling way back in the day?
So I started playing hockey when I was 7 years old, ice hockey. I did that for 8 years. When I was 12, and speaking of Dale, my co-host, so Dale and I both did a repeat of grade 5, and that's how we met. I met him in line the day one of grade 5, number 2. And we instantly just started talking and hit it off famously, I remember he was talking about this guy named Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper and all this stuff. And I was like, what are you talking about, man? What is that? Oh, it's wrestling. Oh, wrestling. I think I've seen that. And then literally that weekend, I was at my grandparents', and they had wrestling on, and I saw Sergeant Slaughter and Roddy Piper, and it was Piper's Pit, and Piper was, I don't know what he was saying. I don't remember. I remember Sergeant Slaughter ripping off his T-shirt, and I was like, I'm doing that. I want to do that. Gonna be that. All these thoughts in a second, So when I was about 15, I started seeing guys. Maybe I'm off on the dates or whatever. I'm sorry. It's a long time ago. A minute was a long time ago for me now. To remember stuff. But anyway, I saw guys like the Dynamite Kid, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, another guy named Nikita Koloff. These guys were all deliberate and so fast. I loved hockey because hockey was fast. I went to hockey clinics. I did speed skating courses and all kinds of stuff. I loved it that much. But professional wrestling was like next level speed. It was next level of, you're doing this alone. You're not on it. I liked the idea of, it wasn't a team thing. It was a solo thing. It was just you showing your wares, if you will. And that really intrigued me. But those names I mentioned were people that just really helped me to fall in love with it. I was already there, but I fell in love with it watching those guys, and those are guys I wanted to emulate. So it wasn't like I was in bodybuilding or anything like that. I knew when I was 12, I wanted to be a wrestler. I got my first weight set when I was 7 years old. That was for hockey. I was a little 20-pound plastic barbell. Pardon me, Joe Weider set.
Wait a minute. I'm still using stuff like that.
Me too. I could show you if I ran around. I could find some plastic weights for sure. But when I was 12, I'd spend, I think it was $2 to go to the YMCA on a Saturday, be there all day and work out. And I'd go with my buddy Matt Dolan, another buddy who's passed named Mike, But yeah, that's it, man. I just started acting as if, working out, training, saying my prayers, eating my vitamins, man. Hoping.
Did you ever go to a camp, like a training camp for wrestling?
Oh yeah, no, I trained. Well, so here's how it worked out for me. Again, manifesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sending letters out as a young lad to local professional wrestlers, thinking they'd see my name and think, "Oh, let's get this kid." Somehow, some way, they'd have some epiphany that I was some prodigy, waiting to be discovered. But alas, I digress. It didn't happen. They would just tell me, "Oh, you need to, get an amateur base." Give me good advice, but kind of fluff me out because I was a young man. But they told me I need to get an amateur base, make me tough. Because despite what people say, that's a tough business. I mean, you can't fake a fall. Beats the shit out of your body. Pardon my French.
Oh yeah, I can't even imagine.
So as soon as I could, I was grade 9 in high school. I joined the wrestling team. And the first few days were whatever. And then by day 3, I don't know, something gave me a bad taste in my mouth. And I instantly hated amateur wrestling. I hated everybody on the team. Just in my head, I was just so discouraged. So I just stopped going. And then my buddy Matt Dolan that I mentioned a couple days later is like, "Hey, did you meet the one coach? His name's Doug." No. What about him? Well, Doug's a professional wrestler. He wrestled Bret Hart. He wrestled name drop. Suddenly, I wanted to go back to amateur school or amateur team, the amateur team. That next night I was there, showed up, no, they didn't even notice I wasn't there. I was like 130 pounds then in grade 9. But I started talking to Doug, kept bugging him. Someone's on your profile, but they can't see the interview right now. They just told me.
Right. Sometimes that happens with it.
Okay. I'd be able to send this to them after. Is that possible? Okay.
Yes, I'm going to have it. I'll have this up for on YouTube.
All right. A notification just came up. She was telling me. So anyway, yeah. So I just kept bugging Doug. Took about a year. I came back. I put on a bunch of weight over, between seasons. I was about 150 and change, 155 maybe. Next year, eating a lot of peanut butter and banana sandwiches to put weight on, lots of pasta, that kind of stuff. Kept bugging them. 16 years old, I started training. We do the amateur wrestling, the class, the team stuff. We'd work out as a team, and then Doug would have me stay behind, and I'd learn how to do professional wrestling on the wrestling mats. And then we'd go to the YMCA and work out, and I'd do that every day. I'd rinse and repeat. I did that for a couple of years, and then I I had my first wrestling match just a couple of weeks after my 18th birthday. Finally had my first pro match.
That's amazing. It's a lot of work. People don't realize the dedication that has to go into this. Now, you know what? I really want to get a little sense of, and this is what, I'm going to be honest with you, this is what really gives me so much respect for you. The fall. When things started to go south for you and one thing started to roll, and I mean, you can go into as in-depth as you want, or you can gloss over it. But the idea is the fact that you redeemed yourself. You brought yourself through there. And there's a certain spirituality that I know that you follow. And there's a certain spirituality that I know that you adhere to, that you I believe that divine intervention came over and slapped you in the back of the head and brought you back up. So just, if you want to just get into it a little bit, because because I know your story and I think it's really fascinating. And I think this is something that people need to understand, because there's always hope. There's always hope, and people just don't get that, and I'm not just talking for the individual. I'm talking for the circle around them.
Yeah. Yes. Where do I begin? Well, first off, I want to say part of the coming up definitely had to do with being around the paranormal community with so much support, notwithstanding yourself or the Franks. There's so many. There's a list. I was thinking about that. Should I make a list of all the names I'd like to say thank you to that have encouraged me and inspired me and showed me I could do it before I thought I could do it again, man. There's so many of you probably watching right now, maybe listening, whatever, that were just in the paranormal community alone that really showed me I can do anything, So thank you before I get into this. It's all part of the journey, right? So, man, I was 21 years old and I got into male dancing. And that was the first time I experienced cocaine. And I didn't really get crazy with it. It was like, here, I was having a night, whatever, not really happy with people I was dealing with. And they were like, oh, the lure, oh, this will make you feel better. You'll be fine, blah, blah, blah. So I did it, whatever. And it wasn't a big deal. I didn't, wasn't suddenly hooked, or at least I didn't think. And that was it. Kind of, months went on. Years, actually, a couple years. And then been with a few different ladies, engaged multiple times. 5 engagements. I've only been married once. I've played house a lot. So fiance number 2, sometimes that's how I gauge my life. What fiance was I with? It's crazy. So fiance number 2 and I split up. And people knew, we worked at the same job together and all. I worked at the casino here in Windsor. So some of the people that I talked to, it was just like everybody knows your gossip.
That's paranormal.
Right. It's because I'm talking to you. Whoever's at your place is coming over. For sure.
Hey, listen, I'm more than willing to share what I have walking down here.
Oh, I love you, man.
This is the second thing that happened today, by the way, just to let you know. So I knew it was going to be a good day.
I love it. Thank you, whoever that is. So started getting into it. It was once a month. I would partake. And then that slowly over time, once a week, by the time I got to fiance number 4, I was full blown in it, committing shady crimes. As long as my bills were paid and I was taking care of what I needed to take care of at home, I was justified to do whatever I was doing otherwise. But it's I lost my kids, over that. And, I don't talk to my kids. It is what it is. Could never get my shit together long enough to attempt a relationship with them. And that's okay. That's what's meant to be, Who knows up the road? Never say never, but not today, And I'm okay with that. I'm at peace with it. I've forgiven myself for that, which is a big thing you got to do to grow. I found forgive yourself, forgive others.
Huge.
For things, and move on. That helps your vibration and helps you, with life in general. At least this is what I'm experiencing.
What was the one thing that you said that brought you back to a positive, into balance, in the balance? Because I've only known the sober, balanced Michael John. Well, I'll just say maybe sort of balanced Michael John.
Yeah, he's still a little wonky, but he's fun. We have fun for sure. It's interesting. There's so many pivotal points, but one very dynamic point was meeting Andrea Perrin.
Oh, Andrea, yeah.
And I remember, that's when I first discovered I had ties with galactics. I was slowly learning this stuff. I had a bizarre dream shortly before I met her. And then everybody's like, go have Andrea open your third eye. And Timmy, conjure a demon. What? Let's do it. Drink the Kool-Aid. Let's do it. Open my third eye. Let's do it. Right. So I was all about it. But I mean, everybody and their brothers, are you sure you want to do this? Because your life's never going to be the same.
Correct. You got that right.
Yeah,
once,
I do.
dude, once that door is open, it don't ever shut.
You know, and it's not slowing down anytime today either. It's just getting ahead of myself. So, you know, and God bless her, man. She's been sick for a while. Wish her nothing but the best. She's helped so many people. It's not all about me, but she's definitely part of the journey and the story, right? So I remember just little things started happening, little things. Because I was still drugging then, you know. Went home, kept going. And then maybe, I don't know, it was like I had this epiphany, a eureka moment where I was like literally laying in bed, you know, day 3 of a bender, staring at the ceiling, going through everything I go through, the paranoia, the psychosis, thinking everybody in my apartment building knows I've been using nonstop and they're going to at any point knock on my door. If I hear someone in the hallway, my heart's like this. Oh my God, they're coming to knock on my door. Oh my God, I'm going to answer. I'm going to be all tweaky and sketchy and oh my God, you know, just horrible shit. You're in your, oh God. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm almost 50 years old. What am I doing? You know, what? I got to fucking stop. This is my mindset, you know? And what I did, I put in place, I blocked my dealer friends on social media. I deleted phone numbers. I helped myself out that way, you know, because they make courtesy calls, man. They want your money. They're courtesy calls all the time. You know, I had a scary incident just a couple of weeks ago. I ran into one of them at the grocery store. For 3 days, this guy was in my life. Day 1, I see him at the grocery store. Day 2, he shows up at my gym. Day 3, true story, Timmy. Sunday afternoon, noon, I got my windows open. I'm singing to my cats. I hear him going, Mikey, hey, Mikey. He's downstairs in my apartment building on the porch. He can't get in because they've changed everything here. It's a brand new owner. So now they have actual locks or doors. You got to put a code in and maybe someone will answer the phone for you. This guy's trying to get in. He's wearing sunglasses on a Sunday at noon, trying to get in. I don't know what he's thinking. I didn't answer. I just kind of peeked and I saw him. So it's funny, you know, as your life's getting better, the devil or whatever you want to call it, whatever, still comes knocking just to test you and see what's up, man. But anyways,
exactly.
Yeah,
people don't get that. People never get that because they always think that when you do the whole sober thing, when you're all changed over and everything, that, oh, your life is going to be roses. No, it's not. There's every day. Sometimes it's a test, you know.
Yeah.
You never know. And you never know who's going to come walking in, or you never know. Oh, you know, hey, Tim, I got this bottle of Jameson for you here. And it's like, you know,
yeah.
So it's like, yeah. So do you think that divinely you had divine inspiration to bring you out of that abyss?
Something gave me a clue, man. Finally, after all this time, I finally was literally sick and tired. And I've been to rehabs.
Mm-hmm.
I've attempted suicide 3 times. I was homeless for a minute too, you know, and none of those times ever made me say I'm going to quit. You know what's going on in my head when I was in rehab? When I get out, I'm going to get this guy. Here's how I'm going to get money.
Yep.
Use. That's all I cared about. We're just all of a sudden, yeah. So divine intervention, perhaps, whatever.
It's like somebody turns that switch, and it's like,
yeah. Thank God.
Wow.
Some people will never have that switch flip, you know. So
now let me ask you this. You've gone and you've pulled yourself up, and that's like commendable. I mean, it's like amazing that you've been able to do that.
Thank you.
You've turned around and went from sludge, which believe me, I've been there. You come from sludge, and now you're hitting the world at 110 miles an hour.
Trying to catch up.
Just trying to catch up. Yeah. Now, do you feel that because of you changing your whole mental ability, getting sober, pushing yourself hard, deciding to manifest what you need in your life, do you feel that And and here's the problem with manifestation. Everybody thinks they're going to go and go, ooh, Made Pade Om, and all of a sudden, $1 million falls in your lap. Well, that don't
dare to
fucking
dream.
work like that.
Imagine.
Yeah, that don't work.
Let's do it, Tim. Let's do it.
But do you feel that you're given divinely what you can handle at that point? And then and if you're doing good, they give you a little bit more, and they kind of bring you in that right. They kind of push you in that direction to get just a little bit more. Is that how it happened for you?
I want to say I'm grateful for all the hard times, because the hard times are what helped me grow. I can see that now, and I try to share that with people that are struggling, give them that message and explain that. And it's hard to understand when you're in that shit, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Going through, and the times are tough.
Yeah.
It's all part of a change. You're going through a change, and it's going to be great when you come through this. But so I'm grateful for all these crashes and burns now. And yes, I wasn't meant to have anything to do with wrestling back then. I couldn't handle it. I might have died from my habits, because I had more money than I would have known what to do with.
Basically everything for a reason. Everything happened at the right time for the reason. Let me switch gears just a little bit. Now, you're starting to come back slowly. You're starting to come back, just one little step at a time.
Yeah.
Things are starting to look up for you. And I remember when I first met you, things were starting. And then as we would communicate, and we would, just, drop a message once in a while, put a DM out there, things were starting to really flow for you.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're starting to get in touch with wrestling, back into wrestling, but opportunity knocks. Knock, knock, knock. We want you on our TV show. How did that happen, Traders? How did that happen? And tell everybody a little bit about what Traders is. And I'm telling you, you are, from what I saw, you are the perfect heel for that type of show. You are, and people, that's a wrestling term. That's the bad guy. Just to let you guys know, if you're not, those of you out there who aren't wrestlers.
I appreciate that very much. It's funny. The first thing for me to kind of realize that gave me the what's the word I'm looking for? So I'm not trying to find some dynamic, incredulous word, but when I published my book, it took me 10 years to do it. That was the kick in the ass I needed, where I realized.
And by the way, this is his book. I love it. I endorse it. I think it's one of the best books I've read. I'm not saying that because I don't suck ass. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I really did. I loved it. When I got my copy of it, I thought this was, and you don't know how much I do enjoy these when I get these things. I usually, it's like, just send me a PDF and maybe I'll read it on a Friday night or something, But this is a paperback. I actually took this out of my bookcase to show that off today.
That means so much. Thank you. Wow.
So tell everybody. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to show off your book.
That's okay. I appreciate that very much. That was a point, a moment where it was like, wait a minute. I can realize my dreams. I can make things happen for me. I just have to do it. So now the Traders is a murder mystery TV show, reality TV show. It's Canadian content on CTV and Crave Network. The agent, the casting agent, I've known her a long time. When I was part of a paranormal investigations group here in Windsor called Spectral Solutions, we made 6 independent documentaries of local haunts. And we did some stuff around the community, and we got into the Windsor Star for something. And she is out in Toronto, Ontario, and she saw it and reached out to us and was like, hey, I want to get you guys on TV. I really like you guys. I want to get you guys on a network. It didn't happen, but I always, short version, I always kept her contact and always stayed in touch. And every so often, I like to say, throw some darts, see if you get a bullseye. She would give me some darts to throw for different shows, right? And then most recently, she's like, hey, this isn't paranormal related. It's not even wrestling related, but I think, you're candid enough. You might be good for the show. You're a good enough talker. I was like, okay. She's like, do you want an interview for it? I was like, okay, sure. So I did. And then I got another interview and another interview and another interview and then a final interview. And then next
Don't
thing
you like those?
Wow.
It's always amazing.
So
You go through 12 interviews and then they're like, yeah, you probably make the B team. That's the way it is. But that's the way TV is.
Yeah. Yeah. And they left me hanging for a while. No news is good news. It took a while. Then I remember I was at work and I got the phone call and I was literally screaming outside the office in the hallway when she told me I got it, And then, of course, there was an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. Sorry, my cats are playing next to me, threw me off. A non-disclosure agreement. So I was like, okay, I need the time off, but how do I tell them I need the time off? So she helped me. She's really good. She says, who do you trust there in the office that has authority that you could share this with and make this happen? Okay. So it worked out, and they were nothing but supportive.
That's great.
Of letting me chase my dream, So, yeah. And while I was there, shortly before that, I got Mike Joseph, the owner of NCG, one of the owners, the main owner of NCG Noble Champions Group Wrestling, and reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to get on board with them. And I honestly thought he was joking, I was like, no, whatever. This isn't anything, I said, thank you. I'm pretty well involved with doing paranormal things right now, etc. But I appreciate it. All the best to you, So I did the TV about 2.5 weeks. I was down in Montreal. Amazing experience. I'll never forget getting off the flight, getting into this black SUV limousine. I was crying, texting my mom and certain people that I wanted to know. Like, oh my God, this is I'm in this. This is happening. It was the most amazing many moments. You have those wow moments, right, Tim? And that was one of them. Anyway, when I came back, a little bit of time had passed, whatever. And then NCG had their first show and they sold it out in Leamington, Ontario. Massive crowd and all that. And I was like, congratulations. This is me typing on my thing. Congratulations. You know what? Are you still interested in me? And here's what's interesting about the owners. When they were little kids, they'd be sitting front row watching me locally and some other guys locally.
Amazing.
I mean, they grew up
amazing.
Watching. Yeah, it's crazy. And this is their dream come true now to have a wrestling company, and I just been really blessed. And, I don't use that term loosely. Really blessed to be where I'm at. But going back to the TV show, the way they did it, they have interviews every day, side interviews. Well, okay, you were Michael John, you were on the Black Cat Lounge with Tim Shaw. What was your thought process when he asked this? And what was going, so you'd be you'd talk about, articulate on said moment. And I started cutting like wrestling promos that I thought anyways, like emulating my forefathers, if you will, guys that I looked up to. I felt, in my head on them, however it came out, but they're like, your energy, we want that energy. Keep talking like that. And that's how I created Bobby Clancy, was literally, throughout the years doing the podcast with Dale, I've, started doing some things and fooling around. And that, Tim, just trying different things, with an intro and an outro, that just little things, right?
Yep.
But also getting some, character into it here and there just to have fun. And that helped a lot. It's funny, again, we talk about pivotal moments in your life. What's happening? What are you becoming? And that helped me to become the TV guy. That helped me to become the NCG general manager. All this stuff, all makes sense now when you look back.
But can you now it's tough in introspection for yourself sometimes to see the steps and see that divine spark and how that spark starts to go and catch a fire, and how that fire just starts to kindling, and it starts to really go, and from a little ember to a bonfire.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And I remember when we were talking and you had said that you had these opportunities and everything, these blessed opportunities. And I always remember remember the advice I gave you? Don't believe it all. Roll with it, enjoy it.
Yes.
But remember, it's going to go, it all goes away, but it'll be there. And I'll tell you what, I'll never forget when you started telling me about traders and all your experiences on traders. And I can relate to it, having been on reality TV.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you know what? This guy's deserving. This guy has put the hours in, the time in. How many episodes did you make? 7?
8 out of 10.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
No.
That's nothing to sneeze at because believe me, there are people that go on there just seriously. How would you have felt if you were the first one to get booted? I mean, that's like terrible,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
8
that really...
episodes. People unless you're in the business, unless you've experienced it, people don't realize how strict it is. It's work. Oh, yeah. How you have to be isolated, how they take your phones away from you, how they oh yeah, I mean they took it from you.
Funny thing about that, Timmy, sort of cut you off. So when they took my phone away and all that, I was like, this is just like rehab. This is no big deal. You know what I mean? So what? I didn't care. But that's me. Yeah.
But it's funny because people don't realize that people don't realize that the minute you sign that NDA, that you are honor bound, and not just honor bound, but you can get sued for 10 grand, 20 grand if you utter anything. Oh, yeah. And and there's a lot of pressure to it. And then everybody, all your friends and all your relatives are sitting there watching you.
It's amazing.
Waiting for you to mess up and get yanked. And you didn't. I mean, 8 episodes. That's nothing.
Amazing.
That's nothing to be ashamed of, man. That is great. I think it's great. And you know what? It's let me ask you this. Now, I know you as the nicest guy one of the nicest people that I've met. Really intelligent, someone I love to sit down. I remember one of my fondest memories is we were up at the casino at Sault Ste. Marie for the old Sault Ste. Marie Paracon. And
I enjoyed that lunch. Yes.
Yeah, we had lunch together, and I thought it was great just shooting the bull, and I got a chance to see where you were from, and we were in the side room. Remember, we were in the side room.
Yes.
And it was just so much fun. And I thought, at the end of the day, I thought, this guy's not a dork. This guy's not. He's not a goof. He's not a goof. He's a nice guy. He's intelligent. Which, want to know a secret? There's a lot of goofs out there. There's a lot of goofs people out there.
Yeah.
So you impressed the hell out of me with that. Now let me ask you this. Before I get into it, I have to go and I have to put this up. Here you are.
Yeah.
Look at this friggin' animal. You're a beast. And there is Prairie.
Yeah.
Your bodyguard.
Yeah. Good friend. Very good friend.
It's amazing. I love the whole shtick. I think it's great. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I'd be afraid of Prairie. I could probably like tackle. I could just do one good tackle and I could drop you. I know I could drop you, but then that would be the end of it for me. It's sort of like the wee kid getting into a fight with the big bully. Hit him as hard and as fast as you can and try to run away. That would be me. But Prairie, I'm afraid she would do a number on me.
No, she's a tough young lady. She's got a boxing background. You see her head a heavy bag. It's actually scary. No, and she's a really good friend. We're super close. She's like my little sister. we have matching outfits, for God's sake. We're ridiculous like that. You'd think we are a couple, but it's never going to happen that way. And we're both at peace with that. That's the way it's meant to be, but we're very close. She's days I don't want to go to the gym, she makes sure I do. Not unlike you, leader of the Lunkers. I mean, because of you, you've inspired so many people, just by showing, like you say, show up, and there was days long before Prairie. I mean, I didn't, I was struggling to get my ass in there watching you make your gains and all that. I mean, so thank you for inspiring so many, including myself, right? Thank you. As a side note, because we gotta pay homage to those that deserve it, and that's you. But yeah, no, it's been really good with her, and I had an opportunity to the owner asked about her, had an idea. We thought it would work, and so far it's working. She's having a lot of fun living her dream now. She's That's involved. Great. She's got a good spot. Right now, we're all enjoying living our dreams.
That's the way to go. And I gotta put this picture up. Look at first of all, look at the abs, not on the giant, on Irish Bobby Clancy there.
That's airbrushed.
That ain't airbrushed, dude. That is hard work, and that's like all nutrition. Abs are made in the kitchen, baby. That's the way it is.
Wow. Yes.
Abs are made in the kitchen. Look at that. I remember just a few months ago. You weren't cut like that. Now you are like you're a beast. You're in beast mode right now. That's amazing.
Long way to go. We're getting there. But thank you again. Appreciate it.
Honest to God. And I have to tell you, to me, that's great. But this one, wait a minute. I think this is the one this is the one I want. When I saw the video clip of this, I saw you out there and I thought to myself, now you're over 50, right?
Yeah, I'll be 53 in June.
Okay. You're 53 years old. Let me show you what 53 is. Like a lot of times I'll put up there, this is 68. This is, I'm working out and stuff. I'm 60. Listen, this is 53. I'll never be this. Look at this guy. Holy God. Look at him. I mean, cut. He's out there. And anybody that knows anything about wrestling, okay, yeah, it's a dance. It's entertainment, yeah. But the hits are hard. The falls are hard. And I remember, I think I texted you, I think I messaged you and I said, so how you feeling? The next day, and you're like, oh, I was like, wow. But 53, man, kudos to you. That is,
thank you.
That's really, really, I don't care. I don't care if it's choreographed. I don't care. Those falls, those slaps, believe me, they're not fake. No. I mean, it's like pulling punches. Yeah, but let me tell you, I see you coming off ropes. I just went, oh my God, he's nuts. He's insane. But Look at him go. It's amazing. I mean, seriously, it's amazing. I had to make sure that I put that out there. And I got one more. I got to share with everybody. One more picture. I was scouring your Facebook page for photos.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Here
we go.
The OnlyFans ones, we don't, I didn't put those up. But this is the other one I put. Look at this. There you are, as the consummate manager. You are the mouth.
Look at the size of my guys.
How big is that guy?
Which one?
This guy that up on the top.
What is he? 7'2".
Wow.
He's a young man. What a good guy. What a gentleman. You know what I mean? Very humble. Both of them are good people.
Amazing.
I'm happy to be able to work with them. They're a pleasure to work with.
Amazing. I sit there and I see you work, and it's like inspiring. And I think
thank you.
I respect most about you is the fact that you're not afraid to say I fucked up.
Right.
You have to own it.
Yeah.
People don't get that. Too many people hide that stuff.
Yeah.
It was hard work to get out of it. It's hard work every day, but yet I'm accomplishing it. I'm at peace with that. I forgave myself. That is so important. But that's the past.
Yeah.
Now you're living in the present. And you got a half a foot into the future. And here you are reaping benefits. And and I'm a firm believer that good begets good.
Yeah.
I see you. I love the photos of you with the fans and people. Oh my God, that little gnome that they painted the beard.
Yeah.
I wish I had saved that one, because there's somebody had a little gnome and they painted the beard black with the white streaks in it.
It's incredible.
I was crying. I couldn't wait to show my wife because she's a fan of yours, and it was like we were crying. Or the kids with the drawings, and I saw you doing a thing for animal rescue, and I saw
Humane Society. Yes.
Yeah.
Humane Society. Yeah, we went with the. I said, give me the oldest dogs. Give me the ones that have been here the longest. They didn't have any missing limbs or eyes. I'd had those featured as well. That's important, especially the ones that have been there the longest.
Right.
We love our animals. So for me, it was a no-brainer to get involved with that and the community. Right. So it's a real opportunity.
And that's what I love about it, because you're out there. You know what? So many people, and I'm not gonna in the paranormal. I'll just throw it in the paranormal. Especially one guy in particular. So many people forget where they came from. So many people, it's all about the money. It's all about, it's all about the fame. It's all about this. It's all about that. You haven't. And that is the measure of a person, because you haven't. You've gone out there and you give back. Somebody calls you up and says, "Hey, Irish Bobby, could you do an appearance, with some of your people, and let's get out there and just to shake hands." And I always call it shaking hands and kissing babies.
Right.
And
me too.
You do it.
Stole that from you.
You know what? It's scary. You and Frank Kupka, the two of you, have stolen so much from me. Him, my gestures.
I can see that. Definitely.
But it's amazing. Let me just touch quickly on paranormal. Future and paranormal. What do you think? You still got that awe when you when the opportunity comes up and they're like, "Hey, what do you think, Michael John? Would you come out with us and do X, Y, and Z? Would you come out and do an investigation with us?" Do you still have that drive?
Absolutely. I was talking with this young lady I was training today, Lana. She's really fascinated by all that stuff. I was showing her my ghost pics of the eye in the smoke, the one of my dog in the smoke, telling her about my book and all that. Talking about synchronicities. We experienced one while we were there, and I made her aware of it. I was talking about training at the casino where I worked for a while, and then like 3 minutes later, we're at the other end of the gym, and this guy walked by and mentioned, he says, "Blah blah blah casino." I go, "Did you hear that?" I go, "What were we talking about?" I go, "That's a synchronicity." I was explaining that. So anyways, yes. Sorry, I took off for a minute there on my plane.
That's all right. Wait a minute, Mike. I got you. I got the lanyard out, Mike. Yes. We're all set, the two of us.
All right, my man. So yeah, of course. I got this one gentleman, my friend Mike. I call him Tattoo Mike. I just had my hands done by him. Huge wrestling fan. Another guy, just one of the rare occasions. As soon as I met him, we're like, so we just clicked. I really, really appreciate this man. But he wants me to go to a graveyard with him. It's reputedly haunted. Probably about 45 minutes from here. He's been making plans. He just mentioned it again earlier today. So yes, I will. I want to. I love it, of course. And it's interesting. You know about my haunted mask. Obviously, you poor man, because I'd bug you at 3 a.m. if something happened. So you know what I've been doing for a long time, and I'm like, wait a minute. I don't even hear disembodied voices. Nothing in so long here, Tim. So my exorcism blessed holy water that I have.
Right.
When I clean my hardwood floors, when I mop them, so I use the liquid, whatever, the cleaning solution. I put a capful in the bottle.
Oh, that's hoodoo. Yeah, that's big hoodoo.
So it's been months, nothing. I'm not pushing the envelope or trying anything either, mind you.
Listen. Every so often, you're gonna have to redo that. You gotta kind of give it a little reinforcement there, because
Okay.
I know even down here in my my collection, which someday I'm going to get you down here to see my collection.
I'm stealing stuff when I'm down there, brother. I'm warning you now. No.
Believe me, it all comes back. You'll be sending it back.
I'm sorry, Tim. I'm sorry. Take this little doll that I wanted.
Listen, I'll give you. I got a couple that I can give you. Believe me. But like this stuff up behind me is more haunted than the stuff that you would think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all that's all personalized stuff. But it's just an amazing thing. And again, Mike, I have to tell you, well, first off, it's I guess the quickest hour that I've had in a long time. Before I cut you loose, tell everybody how they can purchase this fantastic book.
Well, Michael John's Paranormal Ghost Stories is available on all Amazon outlets.
Buy it. Don't be cheap. Buy it.
It's a good
I
read.
love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, it's you know what? I like the reason I love it is because first of all, I know the author. That's one of the big things. But I just love I love reading people's experiences and I love seeing how creative people can be. And again, this proves to me and to everybody out there how multi-dimensional you as a person are. And that is probably one of the highest attributes that I can say because, when we think of Renaissance people, I always call people Renaissance people, Renaissance men, especially if they're doing something. They always think that they're up on this higher throne. They all think that they're, people get that impression of them being, I guess the best way I can describe them is, something beyond the normal person. But we're all normal people in one way or another.
Yes.
And we go and we share what we do and we become creative in different ways. Even though you're a hardcore wrestler, even though you do this, even though you sat down and you wrote this book and you shared it. And you take the time to share with other people. You take the time to share with everybody. My God. I have one last question for you. And I pulled this one out of my back pocket.
Oh God.
And I only ask, and I'm going to tell you, you can ask people like Katrina Weedman and Dacker Stoker and some of the other people that I've interviewed over the years. This is my question that I put people on the spot with. So are you ready? Do you got your little thinking cap on? Are you all set for this?
Let's do it.
End of your life. You're 6 feet under. There's a tombstone above your head. What epitaph do you want written, carved onto that tombstone? Tough one.
I've got one, but I don't know if I can add more to it. A little phrase. Give me a second. I'm trying to piece it together here so it makes sense.
These are tough questions. I can tell you.
It would be tough times don't last and enjoy the moments.
Perfect. You know what mine is? He's an okay guy. That's good enough. He's an okay guy. Nice, sweet. That's it. I don't want anything else.
I love it.
Michael John, thank you for being a guest here on the Black Cat Lounge. Really, you honor me. I have been looking forward to this.
Me
from
too.
When the time you said that you would take the time, cut it out of your schedule, and book. I think you're one of the coolest guys out there. You know what? I can't wait till we're actually in the same room again.
Yes.
Eating some kind of, I don't even know what the hell we were eating. I was kind of afraid of that stuff. Whatever we were eating that night was, and all I know is that it was detrimental to my lower intestines, but that's another story for another
But you
time.
know what was good? The belly laughs that we shared. Like we were a bunch of drunks, but we were all as sober as the day. And we were annoying everybody else in that restaurant. And 0 fucks were given because we were all together enjoying our company.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably one of my fondest memories. And I do have a picture of you, me, and our buddy John sitting there all together at that restaurant. That's I might put that into an 8x10. I might sell that as glossies. I think you and I should just autograph them, sell them as glossies. Anyway, so that's the wrestling mentality I have. Let's make a new T-shirt up. I know we got this anyway. Michael John, hold off. I'll thank you properly off the air. And again, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you very much. It's a overused word, but it's just well, how more can you describe it? I mean, it's an honor to be on one of my very closest friends' show, someone I look up to immensely. Thank you.
That's only because I'm taller than you. That's why you look up. Don't give me
fuck.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. I'll be back in a couple seconds. Right. That's Michael John. Isn't he great? I think he's a prince. He is so down to earth. He's such a perfect gentleman. I love his story because it's true redemption. It's manifesting. It's reaching out and pulling yourself up. It's going out there and understanding that if you're positive things come. And he's the living example of that. And to me, I can't ask for a better example for someone to come on my show and let's talk about that. That was great. Anyway, next week I should have the chat ready to go again. Sorry about that tonight, but listen, it was important to have Michael John talk and come on and visit and hang out. So guys, be good. What else? We'll all hang out where the elite meet next to the dumpster transfer station. Till next time. Ciao, babies. Bye-bye.